on, guys? Aaron here, and we are going to do a 6-month review on my BC Racing Coilovers, the BR series, so that's the extreme lows. And I thought it was a good time to do a review on it because, go ahead and roll this up, because I've been static slash cambered slash slammed on these coilovers now for 6 months, and what a good time to do a review, right? So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that comfort doesn't exist, right? So luckily this car is already comfortable as it is. It's got the nice bolstered leather seats. It's already a really small, narrow car, so it handled really well already. So the performance that you get out of these coilovers is amazing, right? It's, like I said, it's already a tiny car, and it already handled amazing before, so once you really tighten it up, it's amazing. There are things that I would attempt on this car that I never would have attempted before. However, the consequence of slamming my car on these coilovers is obviously, you know, that's what you get with a static setup. As tight as it is around turns, I also got to take it slow because I rub in the front fenders. I need to do some rolling again, but you know, the comfort doesn't exist. And again, I have my seat, which is already bolstered from the factory, but I have it, you know, sitting pretty straight up so that my body is pretty much an L shape in the seat, because if not, you're gonna feel all of the bumps in your back, and so you need to adjust the seat more forward so that you feel it more in your ass. Now, I'm being a little critical on the comfort thing because honestly, this is what you get. Like, duh, you're lowering your car on static suspension, and I'm tucking in the rear, and I'm tucking tire in the front. So if you want to be able to do that, you got to make sure your suspension is tight enough that you're not gonna destroy your car in the process, or destroy your tires, or rub your wheels. And so to make sure that everything, that you lock in your fitment and then keep it there, you got to have it stiff. Now, these coilovers are really nice because they have so many levels of adjustment for dampening, for obviously the height that you ride at. They come with camber plates and end links, so you can adjust your camber right out of the box. You don't have to buy additional kits. So it's really, really nice because everything is in the box that you need, right? You can get your car tucked and cambered just where you need it right out of the box. You don't have to buy additional stuff. So that's really nice. I got them for $1,100 through ECS Tuning. Typically they're $1,300 for the kit, but I mean, as you can see, I'm daily driving it. I'm at the speed limit right now. I just crossed a railroad right there. That wasn't bad. So, and again, I'm tucked in the rear. I'm basically to the wheel in the rear, and I'm tucking tire in the front. So it's really not too bad. So the only issues that I've had officially with the coilovers, other than learning how to drive now, because you got to avoid like everything, the only real issue that I've had is the passenger front side. The top strut bolt has come loose twice. I don't know why, but it just works its way loose. It's a real easy fix. It takes about 10 minutes. I have another video that I'll put in the comments, so if you wanted to see that, just how to fix that, because it's causing a clunking noise. Now, as you can, I don't know if you can hear or you can tell or you're listening, but there's no clunking right now because it's been fixed, and I've had no issues with it since. So I don't know, maybe it's just gone now. No, I'm just kidding. So regardless, it hasn't done it since. It's a 10-minute fix, but that was the source of my coilover clunk. It's really notorious for, especially BC Racing, the notorious side that seems to do it for everybody else is the rear driver's side. And I haven't had a single issue with the rears. So maybe that's just my case, but regardless, really no issues with them at all. 6 months later, the only clunking has been from that one little nut, and fixing it is real easy. They ride phenomenally. I haven't had any play, nothing's come loose. Nothing has made any other noise, so it's been great. The perk of BC Racing compared to some of the others is that each piece is replaceable, so they're completely rebuildable. So if something breaks, you don't have to replace the entire coilover. You can just buy a strut, you can just buy the nuts, you can just buy a camber plate, right? You don't have to, you can buy just a spring. So that's a perk. If something goes wrong on the coilover itself, you can just replace that piece. You don't have to rebuild, you don't have to replace the entire component. So I don't know, I'd rather buy an $80 spring than a whole $300 coilover, you know what I mean? Now for the juicy stuff. We've covered the whys, the cost, the comfort, and let's talk about how I actually like it. Let's talk about the biased stuff. So I love them. The car looks so much better. It looks freaking sick. The Golf R, the Volkswagen Golf just was made to be low. I don't know why, but this car looks absolutely phenomenal lowered. It just does. And the lower, the better, in my opinion. Now, obviously there's the functionality. There's function over form for some people. Others, there's form over function. I have done a really good job, in my opinion, finding the happy medium. I think that the car looks absolutely phenomenal, but it also functions completely fine as a daily driver. Like, I drive this car almost every single day of the week. And so this has literally been my daily driver pretty much since the coilover's been put on it. And again, there was a little bit of a learning curve. Like, you can't drive the same way that you would have before on every road. You know, you gotta take things a little bit slower. You gotta know what part of the road to avoid at what point. And it's not that the car won't do it necessarily, it's just, it's needlessly abusing my car, right? I don't need to be in the passenger side. You know, I don't want this car to be falling apart in another year or two because I was just driving it carelessly, right? I have to acknowledge that because I lowered it, I have to now drive it a certain way if I want to keep it this way, right? If I'm not going to drive it that way, then I need to either accept that I'm going to destroy the car, or I need to adjust the coilover so that I can get a taller, softer ride out of it. After I roll my front fenders and I get rid of that rubbing, I'll take this out and we'll do a little hill climb video so that I can really officially test the like the cornering and the body roll and stuff like that. Ugh. Now see, there are still some bumps. Watch, there's another bump right here. You'll feel that. All right, here it is. Ready? I mean, that's really the worst part of this whole drive, was just right there. So I'm not sponsored by anybody, not BC Racing, not ECS Tuning, nobody. This is just my opinion from somebody who spent their hard-earned cash and wanted an exact look and function for their car and got it. And so I'm just telling you my honest opinion about these coilovers is they are great. They're amazing. I got the exact look that I wanted and maintained the functionality that I needed. They're amazing. So highly, highly, highly recommend it. They are, I think, the perfect coilover if you want something lowered with some camber to get that perfect fitment, but you still gotta drive your car to work. And then here's some of the outside of the car, just so you guys aren't like, oh, you didn't even show us the car, because you didn't go check out my other videos. But yeah, anyways, here you go. Here is what it looks like in the rear. And then the front. So highly recommend them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Check out some of my other content if you want. Again, I'll put the video to fixing that clunking noise in the comments somewhere. So if you are having it, you could, even if that's not the fix, you could cross it off the list. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Drink water and be safe. I'll see y'all on the flip.